Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, this is Spyro, and this is a little tutorial explaining how to make a typical electro bassline in Fruit Loops, baby. Well, what we have here is a simple oscillator here, a 3 oscillator generator. And I'm using just one oscillator out of the 3 in a sawtooth waveform, which sounds this boring. And I'm using the first thing I'm gonna do is to use a peak controller, which is already receiving signal from the synthesizer, and link it to the wet slider in a reverb. I link it to the peak controller, and I use an inverted formula, which means the more signal I have here, the less value we have here in this slider. You can see the slider is moving there, but it's inverted. The next thing to do is to hear it right. So as long as I keep a key pressed, I had no reverb, but as soon as I release it, you can hear the tail of that reverb, right, coming from the background. And the next thing to do is to use an XY controller to filter the sound and make it more interesting, right? I have the formulas here explained. So we are going to link this slider to the Y value or Y axis in the formula controller. We are going to use input plus 0.5, which means I use the upper part when I move the XY controller in the lower part region. I'm moving here in the upper part. And the next thing to do is to link this slider in the equalizer to the Y value into the XY controller, and use a straight linking, right? So if I am in the bottom minimum or the maximum at the top, the slider should be the same value, should have the same value. So the next thing to link is this second band here to the Y value in the XY controller, and use one less input divide by 2. So I'm moving in the upper half, and I'm moving inversely. All right, that's it for the sliders. And the next thing to link here is this knob to the X value straight in formula, so they both has the same value. And the next thing to do is to link the second knob to the X axis of the XY controller, and use input plus 0.1, right? So I'm just adding a little bit to the actual value, right? We are ready here, so let's take a listen. So you can hear how it sounds so far, right? But there's there is another thing that is interesting in this bass is the more I filter it, the more reverb I have. The more clean is the filter, the more reverb I can put on it, right? If I have too much lower content, lower frequency content, I don't really want reverb on it. But here I can live with lots of reverb, right? So I'm going to link this parameter here, which is the volume parameter in the peak controller, to the y-axis using input plus 0.5, which means if I go down, it goes to 0 here. This is 0, this is negative, and this is positive. This is 0, and when I go to the top, when I go to the middle point, it goes to the top, right? So let's see how it sounds. I will start with the fat sound, and I go filtering, right? And you can hear lots of reverb in it. But if I go up again, I only have reverb in very specific situations, right? Let's hear how it sounds with the kick. Let's turn on this Blood Overdrive to add a little more distortion warmth. Let's play. Okay, we are almost done here. The last trick in this bassline is to actually use this big controller in the kick. Let's mute the kick and play the project. And this big controller here is receiving the kick, you know? There is it. And I'm using this big controller to send information to this volume slider in the Fruity balance, which actually controls the bass volume, right? So let's raise the volume here and let's see how it sounds. It kind of bounces a little more, the bass, right? It's like having the kick there, but the kick is actually silent, right? But you can feel it. You can feel it in it. It bounces. It's a cool effect. So that's basically everything on this bassline. The next thing, I guess, to do is to have a little fun making some music, right?